there's other people here. So
Oh, yeah, yeah.
anyway, how you been, man?
Yeah, good. Unfortunately, yeah, no other politicians have been fired since the
Yeah,
last time I talked to you.
yeah. That was a nice little joyous moment.
Yeah,
I
indeed.
I kind of, by the time it happened, I was like, I was beyond it. I was just like, I don't care. They're going to bring someone else in. It just, I remember we mentioned it on the podcast with the boys, and yeah, I was so black pilled that day. I was just like, I don't fucking care anymore. You know, it was just,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
for sure.
But
Yeah, it's quite amazing how much it can suck you in,
mm,
despite us knowing what we know. It still somehow manages to suck you back in a little bit. Oh, just if this guy's gone, maybe it'll make a difference.
yeah,
Ah,
I think to even approach all this stuff, you need a certain faith in humanity in the first place,
mm,
because you that like it's that faith in humanity that kind of gets corrupted. Without that faith in humanity, you kind of will just go along with whatever, you just be like, oh, this is what's going on, and I'll believe what they tell me.
yep.
So every time that you get back into that thing of like, well, I still have faith in humanity, and then something else happens and you're just like, oh fuck. uh,
It's funny though, isn't it? Because they do their damnedest to make sure that all we ever hear is shit stuff.
yeah,
And
yeah,
then like there's I've got a borderline YouTube addiction. I'm on there looking at stuff all the time, but you'll see something cool, like some guys, doing something really good for people, and you kind of go, why don't we hear about that stuff more often?
mm. I
Yeah,
actually commented on YouTube a while ago, and it got a bit of traction, just this comment, because I'd put on a playlist. It suggested a playlist for music, and I was just
yeah,
like, yeah, I'll just put that on.
yeah.
And I noticed the music just slowly just brought you down. It would
Hmm.
like play a couple of songs that were like up, and then it'd play one that was just real down, and then just gradually, after a couple of hours, it was like if you were drinking, as a lot of people do, you're having a drink, so you chuck some music on. In 2 hours, you'd be sitting there crying and fucking online. And my
Yeah,
theory is,
yeah,
when you're depressed, you go online to buy shit to make yourself feel better.
yeah.
So they just kind of they go, well, let's just fucking, you know,
Well, interesting that you say that is with music. I think we touched on it a little bit last time.
mm,
I don't think we went too deep into it though. So there's a story that I think it was around the Nazis. They changed the frequency that
oh,
music is recorded in.
it was the Rothschilds. They changed the tuning.
Yes.
Yeah, because it
Yeah, was it
used to
from
be.
440 to 432 or something like
It's
that?
now at 440.
Oh,
I
other
think
way
it is,
around.
which
Yeah.
which adds up to 8, and it was at 432,
Yeah.
which adds up to 9. And when everything's in the 9, it creates the nines, the threes, and the sixes, and you get these nice, but yeah, apparently when it's an 8, it's dissonant.
Yes.
It's
Yeah. Because I remember I'd done a test once, and it suggested using headphones for it.
mm,
And said, well, we're not going to tell you what frequency that we play
yeah,
and see how it makes you feel. And one of them, it immediately brought on intense anxiety and nausea.
really,
Yeah.
wow,
But, oh, that's horrible. And
wow,
then
man.
another one sounded, yeah, like quite nice and relaxing.
Yeah, yeah, that's interesting. I remember I did that. I think I did probably a similar one, and I kind of couldn't detect the difference. because
Yeah.
I think I was just I'm so used to 440. But yeah, it's interesting, and probably at my age as well, I'm less, my hearing's probably not what it was after many years of sticking my head in PA systems and shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, did you ever go to Calder Park and watch the drag racing and stuff like that?
No, I got into a bit of that when I was younger. My uncle was a rally driver, and my
Ah,
cousin drove go-karts and stuff, and was gonna be a Formula Ford driver, but
oh,
he didn't go down that path, unfortunately, or maybe
okay.
fortunately, who knows. But
Yeah,
yeah, that's kind of the closest I got. But I imagine that's
okay.
very loud.
Oh, those dragsters, they're unbelievable.
Yeah.
Um, they they throw out all sorts of numbers because they can't exactly. Uh, there's no what's that bloody machine that they put the cars on and they can test the horsepower.
Oh yeah.
Dyno, yeah,
Okay.
the dyno. So
Yeah.
there's no dyno big enough in the world to fit a dragster on. So they sort of do rough calculations.
Really.
But so me and my brothers, we would stand next to them in the pit when they would fire up the engine to see if everything's working or not.
Yeah.
And it's right on that threshold of pain in the ear.
Yeah. I bet.
Thinking, oh damn, this can't be good.
Well, I remember whenever the Formula One's in town, like you can hear it out here.
Mm.
Like I'm in Ferntree Gully, and you
Oh
can hear it.
wow.
Like you'll hear it's fucking full on, man.
Um the like the ones at Albert Park, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
wow.
I remember hearing it once I was in Baronia, and I could hear it in Baronia. Like you
Whoa.
just in the distance, just this, just
Yeah.
fucking mad volume.
Well, it's funny, Nick, because I remember the first time my dad took me to Formula One. You don't realize how high pitched they are, the sound.
Mm, mm,
I mean, at least how the engines were then, because I think they've changed engines or something like that over the last few years.
okay.
But yeah, super high pitch.
Yeah, yeah. You
It's,
gotta wonder what that's
yeah,
doing to your ears.
yeah, exactly right. Because I have heard it. Yeah, it's more that high pitch, high frequency sort of stuff that just shreds the inside of your ears.
Yeah, yeah.
Of course, there was that. It reminds me of that. Do you ever hear of that incident where I think along the main straight there was these slight gaps in the fence,
Oh, okay.
and I think one year a wheel came off one of the cars and just went through the gap, and it struck someone.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
That'd be even worse for your hearing. Jesus.
yeah, hearing and a whole bunch of other things.
Yeah. Um, fuck.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, funny when you sent me a message to do this last night. I was at a concert.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so we're waiting around for them to come on stage. I think that was about 15, 20 minutes before they came on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, you haven't heard of Slaughter to Prevail?
No.
I'll send you a text message. I
Yeah,
took a few
please do.
videos, but there's a part in one of the songs where the guy screams out one of the lines without a microphone,
Yeah.
and it was unbelievable how loud it was.
Yeah.
It just completely filled the whole room.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Impressive.
Yeah,
Where
that
was
was
that?
good. 170 Russell Street.
Oh, okay. Oh, and yeah, in the city. Fucking
Yeah. So
I
it's
know
pretty much
the
in Chinatown.
yeah, I know the venue, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, 'cause
cool.
I hadn't been there for a while. I think the last gig I went to before this one was I think it was Meshuggah back in 2016 or 17.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was the last gig you went to?
Last gig I went to. It'd be one that I was working. So it'd be a smaller band. Like the very last thing I did was a Twilight thing, which is just a bunch of local Mildura bands and
Oh yeah,
artists getting up and doing stuff. I can't think of the last. I don't know, probably Weezer or something.
Weezer.
Yeah.
Jeez.
No, I've been to something since then. Fuck, that was ages ago. I can't think of what I've been to. Bestial Warlust. I remember that one. That was fun. I was producing their album, so I went in and I was just like fucking sitting there checking them out and taking notes and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good. That
Oh,
was,
so that obviously still remember you quite well, and
I'd imagine so. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, the junkie, junkie producer.
Well, whenabouts was it when you done that?
Oh, it was the early '90s. It was a
Shit.
long time. I'm trying to think of the band that they supported. Um, very well known band. I had their T-shirt and had medical instruments all over it, like medieval medical instruments. Fuck, I can't. No, I can't. Can't fucking remember the name. But
Early
that was,
90s, eh? So about when I was born.
yeah,
Far out.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I was born back in 91.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. That would have been about then. Yeah.
Ow.
Full on.
Yeah, and I bet that time's just gone like that, eh?
Yeah, it's pretty swift. Yeah. I don't know. It's weird. Like time drags,
Mm,
time in this weird way. Like when you fall into certain like I don't want to say pits, but it just repetitious behavior and
yeah,
time like when you're doing stuff that you enjoy that's fun, time flies. But when it's just
yeah,
this sort of like monotonous kind of you get into that area and it just time drags.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I remember something a while back that a mate at work said to me I thought was really interesting. Because I remember we are talking about, oh, it's really good when it's busy at work. Time goes really quick. He goes, yeah, but it's kind of messed up when you really think about it. Because, you think, you just want the workday to end.
Hmm.
But it's almost like you're wishing your time away.
Yeah.
That's literal time that you're alive
Yeah.
and you're wishing it away.
You're not getting it back.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you just, yeah. Yeah. It's strange.
Yeah.
Hmm. I guess we do that a lot in, a lot of areas of life.
Yep.
You get addicted to the highs though, and that's dangerous.
Yes.
Like you get to the point where you just want the highs and nothing's ever really. So I'm always wary of you know, like how I react to that. I mean, I always try and embrace them and be in the moment and enjoy it. But
Mm,
yeah, you just gotta, I don't know, you gotta be steady about it.
yeah.
Plan for the next one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Because if life was just full of highs, well, you wouldn't know what a low is,
Yeah. Yeah. And you
and
wouldn't
vice
know what a
versa.
high is. Yeah. You'd
Yeah.
just be like, well, this is life. This is standard. Yeah. I wonder if there are people that, I mean, there must be people out there that with the billions of people in the world, there'd be people out there that just have those kind of lives. They're just like, just one thing after another. It's just one awesome thing after the next. Yeah.
Well, funny enough that you mention billions. There's somebody was talking about that the other day. I can't remember who I was talking about it with, but so they say that there's 7 billion people on the planet.
8 now.
Oh, 8 now.
Yeah.
Jeez. But that's what they're telling us.
Mm.
So how do we even know that what they're telling us is real in terms of population?
Yeah. We don't know.
Yeah, no
Uh,
way.
yeah. I've never
Because
been
sometimes
hunting with them.
I just I just have that gut feeling that that's a message that they put out there
Mm,
because there's that thing that like you and Steve talked about with the depopulation agenda.
yeah,
So they're feeding that idea into our heads. That,
yeah,
no, you're too overpopulated. So everybody just walks around going, "Oh yeah, shit, there's 8 billion of us.
yeah,
There's too many of us."
yeah,
And then
yeah,
it starts to very quickly. It becomes, was Jordan Peterson said it. It becomes like anti-life
mm,
because we all just walk around and start saying, "Oh yeah, 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 for sure." Like we're too overpopulated, and you go, "Well, says who? And according to what?
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
And who's the person that defines what too much is?" And then furthermore defines what they're going to do about it.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You got to assume that we're being lied to, like, to some degree in every aspect of our lives. Like I'm at the point where I just assume that everything is pretty much fake and gay. It's just like fucking yeah. I wrote on Twitter today. Twitter is a psyop because it is. It's fucking brutal. Twitter's
Yeah.
insane.
Or it's called X now, isn't it?
X, yeah, X. It's
So
funny.
has he mentioned what the idea behind this renaming or rebranding is?
I haven't heard it. He seems to be putting X on everything. Like
Yeah,
it's
because didn't he have former companies or something like that were also named X?
well, there's SpaceX. Um,
Yeah.
Tesla he bought. It was called Tesla when he bought it. Um,
Okay.
so he didn't change that one. Yeah, I don't know what else is. I don't know why. Like X is just a terrible name for a platform, in my opinion. Like I think Twitter was quite a good name for it,
Yeah.
but I don't know why he would do that. But
Yeah, it's strange, isn't it? Because once something's that established and then you change the name, like the amount of effort and marketing
mm,
that would be required for people to eventually catch on, like, yeah, you'd be losing a lot of, potential customers or traffic or whatever.
yeah, and people still refer to it as Twitter.
Yeah.
Like I still, and everyone knows what you mean.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly right. Well, then of course there's that other thing in the conspiracy world because isn't X supposed to also be a satanic symbol or something?
Well, there is, yeah, there in symbolism, X has a lot of negative connotations,
Right.
and X marks the spot. Um,
Yes.
it targets, you put an X on something, it's a hex.
Yep.
Um, there's all manner of things related to the X.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the cross as well. It's not
Oh yeah.
quite literally the cross, but it is a cross. And
Yeah.
yeah, there's a lot to it.
Yep.
Yeah. I
Well, like we
spoke
were.
to Steve yesterday, actually.
Oh, cool. How's he
Um,
doing? Has he picked up a bit?
yeah, he's good.
Good.
It was great conversation. We just over Facebook Messenger, just video chatted for a while and
Yeah.
yeah, had sort of a usual conversation for a while. And then he was like, yeah, I'll come to Melbourne soon. So we're going to catch up soon, hopefully. And
Oh, that'd be so fucking cool.
yeah, it'll be really cool if I can organize to do like a live podcast,
Yeah.
like so rather than it being over the computer, it'll be really good to
Yeah.
be able to do it in person.
Yeah.
But
Well, what part of the world is he currently living in?
he's in Sydney now because
Sydney.
yeah, he's
Oh,
come back to to Australia. He's only been here a few days.
oh
But
wow.
he's come back to Australia because his mum died, and so
Oh
that
shit.
hit him pretty hard. So he had to get back here and
Yep.
see family and whatnot. And yeah, so that was
Okay.
pretty full on. I think
Yeah.
that's part of why, like, I remember one day speaking to him, and he was in this headspace that I've been in so many times, where he was just like, he'd just been in his room for ages, and he was just like, getting into his own head, and it was a dangerous place to be. So
Shit, yeah.
we talked for a while, and don't know how much I helped him that day, if at all, but hopefully. Anyway, then yeah, we've just both been on these fucking wild, insane fucking rides. So yeah,
Yep.
but yeah, it was great talking to him yesterday, because he was in a really good mood. I was in a good mood. It was great to hear
Yeah.
from him. So it was just, it was really fucking nice. But
Yeah.
yeah,
No, that's good to hear.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So,
Mm.
you were telling me a while ago about that movie. Uh, what was it? The Sound of Freedom.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I still
Yep.
haven't seen it.
Oh, okay.
I've been kind of observing that. I haven't bought into it too much, but I've been observing the attacks on the guy.
Oh, incredible, isn't it?
Like, it's, and I've been surprised at where the attacks are coming from.
Yep.
There's a lot of people that I would consider on the right
Yeah.
who are, generally clear-headed people who are just like, this is this, and it's that, and it's just like, wow, you know,
Yeah. It's a real head scratcher, isn't it? Like literally, because um, but what's there to argue about?
mm, a
Like
lot of
it's
it,
just it's literally a thing that is happening,
yeah,
and it's based on a guy's experience or whatever.
yeah,
Like it's pretty common knowledge that this sort of shit goes on, yet
yeah,
somehow people have a problem with it.
mm, yeah. There's all sorts of like, oh yeah, I wasn't expecting it really. Like, I expect some attacks to come out, but not
Mm,
from a lot of people that just like, and they're calling into question the guy, that Tim's character, and things that he's done and whatnot,
yeah,
and I'm sort of like, well, I don't know, I've never gone hunting fucking child predators, so I can't really imagine what that would be like.
yeah.
That's strange.
Well, like Jimmy Carr said, well, first of all, you're an adult, so you're safe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, but I remember watching a thing. A lot of Ellen DeGenerate fans,
Yeah.
they were going nuts. They kept on sending her the same message because she kept ignoring it.
Mm.
They were saying, "Have you seen Sound of Freedom yet? Have you seen it yet? Have you seen it yet?" And she would not say a word,
Yeah, right.
not a single word, and she just kept ignoring it.
Mm. Yeah.
Like so strange how we'll get behind like literal fantasy and people in capes and costumes.
Yeah.
Like, and to be fair, the genre has been done to death,
Yeah.
totally done to death. And then when there's a semi-serious movie that comes out that's trying to shed light on something that's going on that is a massive problem,
Mm.
nah, not interested.
Yeah. It's a
Wow.
strange one. I'll have to see the movie. I'll have to track it down and have a look at it.
Yeah, it was very interesting because a lot of people reported the movie would like the theater would lose power
Mm.
halfway through the movie, or the air conditioners would be set to hot.
Really?
Yeah, or they'd switch the lights on and draw the curtains and a whole bunch of shit.
Wow.
Yeah. It's interesting is that yeah, Mel Gibson's like really putting his neck out
Yeah.
to promote it. 'Cause I think it was a like a producer or whatever.
Yeah.
Um See, I didn't even realize because I still haven't seen the movie. But the main guy of that movie was the guy that done Passion of the Christ.
Yeah, Jim Caviezel played Jesus.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's a
See, I
pretty
never saw that
intense
movie.
movie.
The only reason I know it is because of the South Park episodes taking the piss out of
Yeah, right. Yeah,
it.
that's great. South Park. Fuck. What was the last? Fuck. Have I watched it yet? Oh yeah, the one where they cross over. It's the most recent one, I think. They cross over into a universe, the Pandaverse. They're
Oh, I haven't
pandering
seen that
to.
yet.
They're all like they're all being replaced by women in the thing, and it's just really funny. It's very
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what's really funny. How Matt and Trey,
Mm,
they both said that, like, because obviously South Park, if that came out today, it wouldn't happen.
yeah.
Like, no way would it happen.
Yeah.
But they both said that, like, the timing of when they came out, it was just before everything started getting full on.
Yeah.
So there's this weird thing of like everybody goes, oh well, that's just South Park. That's what they're like,
Yeah.
and they're
Yeah.
sort of mostly left alone.
They get a
Whereas,
pass.
yeah, they get a really odd pass because of the timing of when they started.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're getting all these comedians now, like that guy the other day, was it Matt Rife?
Oh yeah.
I think it was. He's like the latest one for being cancelled.
I I haven't watched. I've seen little bits and pieces of his comedy, but I can't imagine why he would be cancelled. But one thing I did find really funny was that he put a link to an apology on his Instagram, and
Okay.
it link if you like if it was like click here if you want the apology, and it redirected to a site that sold helmets for disabled people. So like I did think that was very fucking funny. That was very
Oh
good.
man, that's pretty good.
Yeah, it's terrific.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. Speaking of other things that are getting banned, I was just when I was in the city last night before we went to the concert, was talking to my brother-in-law and his fiance about how they've banned the salute of the Nazis.
Oh, the Nazi. Yeah,
So now you
yeah,
can literally get fined for that.
yeah. My joke about that is good luck hailing a cab.
Very good.
Hey, I wanted to do a thing actually. Um, they they always have this thing about like getting a cab in New York if you're black. So I wanted to do a thing of like testing, hailing a cab, the success rate of getting a cab if you're white versus if you're black. And so first I'd have a black guy come out and, cabs would go by and whatever. And then I wanted to come out dressed as Hitler, standing there going, trying to hail a cab. Just go, see, it's just cabs. They don't like people.
Yeah. Yeah. Shit.
Yeah.
Here's the interesting thing that I thought. Well, what even like can you even have a clear definition of what it is? So, like for example, this guy that got fined,
Mm,
he done it as a joke to his mates.
mm,
And then I thought, if you're like what you just did before, if you're waving at somebody down the street and
yeah.
it remotely looks like it, and you get some little SJW that wants to report you to the police,
Yep.
like, is that finable?
Yep.
Or do you have to do that stupid the flicking motion with your forearm
Yeah, I don't know.
that
And
they
click
do?
your
Like,
heels together and say
yeah,
there's
yeah,
no place
yeah,
like
that's
home.
a
Ridiculous. It's
yeah.
But that's like Steve talks about that a lot, about the restriction of what we can say and now the restriction of movement.
Hmm.
I mean, they've been doing that for a long time with the health and safety stuff, but this
Yeah.
is just next level. Like,
Well, because that's the ironic thing, isn't it? I think Did the Nazis start health and safety?
Probably.
That was one of their initiatives.
Well, they did a lot of stuff with what do you call it? Like they were, getting rid of rats and so they were fumigating. They did a lot of stuff with health and put out anti-smoking commercials and like they were really health conscious. I don't know how far they went
Right.
with health and safety stuff, but yeah. But it's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
It's interesting now watching how much of the world is just echoing the Nazis.
Yes.
Like we all hate Nazis. Oh, we hate Nazis, but we'll act like Nazis and just
Yeah.
call it something else.
Well, because that's funny. So they're happy to ban the salute.
Hmm.
I wonder if we walk down the street with a hammer and sickle flag.
Yeah, it'd be fine.
Yeah, that'll be fine. Don't worry about the 100 million people
Yeah,
that are, somewhere buried in the ground in Europe and China and
yeah.
oh boy.
It's this whole thing is like it's what's going on in Israel and Palestine now. It's
Mm.
the Nazi salute is offensive to one particular group of people, and they are a protected class.
Yep.
And yeah, it's insane.
Yep.
Like, yeah, and it comes back to that thing of like, if you want to know who you're being oppressed by, look at who you cannot criticize.
Yes.
And so
Yes.
if they are not in control and they want to get this across, well, then they should be able to be criticized because all this stuff is just making people, it's sowing the seeds of hatred. It's
Mm.
making people go, well, fuck you. You're restricting my movements.
Yep.
I can't do this. I can't say that.
Yeah.
Someone might get
Ugh.
offended. And at the moment, like watching Israel just slaughter the Palestinians, it's
Mm.
like, and seeing how many people, like the media, the expected, the usual suspects are all like pro Israel and whatever.
Yep.
And like Joe Biden is the biggest recipient of the Israel lobby's money. He's of all the
Ah.
politicians, Joe Biden is the biggest recipient. And they have that power. So that but regular people are really kind of siding with just saying you can't do this to the Palestinians. This is sick. What you're doing is wrong.
Yeah. Yep.
And yeah, I thought it was funny that they called October 7 their 9/11. It was like, are you
Mm.
admitting it was an inside job?
Yeah, all right. Yeah, let's now that you mention it, let's get on to that.
Yeah.
All right. So, Max Egan has been doing amazing reports
Mm,
on what the media's not telling you. So
mm,
I'm happy to be corrected if these aren't true or whatever. He insists that, so very similar to JFK, something's gone wrong, seriously wrong, and it's mostly an inside job when procedures are being fucked with.
yeah.
Right. So the venue of this music festival was moved 2 days prior to the location of where it happened.
Really?
And I can't remember how long. I think it was a day or two, though, roughly around the same time. The military was pulled back from that area.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's
So,
an area that is usually heavily defended. Plus,
yes.
it was on an anniversary.
Hmm.
There's
Yep.
just so much fucking.
And to say, especially two, here's the most suspicious one for me. It took 7 hours for them to
Mm.
get there and defend the area.
Yeah.
7 hours.
Yeah. It's not that big a place.
Yeah, how's that possible?
Yeah. It's not. It's ridiculous.
Like you can launch a jet and it would, oh, geez, I can't remember what somebody said, but it was a stupidly short amount of time. Like you could just basically get everybody up, okay, go over here. And it's like within 20 minutes,
Hmm.
the whole army's there.
Yeah.
But yeah, 7 hours.
I think anyone that is aware looks at all that and just goes, well, that was planned, or that was, they allowed it to happen
Allowed it to
as
happen
a
now.
justification. And you look into their plans for Gaza that they've been laying out for quite some time now.
Yep.
And you can see that it's it's quite clear that they have a plan, and to sacrifice, I mean, they kind of have a history of it. They sacrifice a certain number of people to justify what they're doing next. I mean, that's standard playbook for America's been doing that for a long time.
Yeah. Oh,
People do that,
same program just being run over and over again.
Exactly.
And then as you were discussing on the Truth Dungeon, how the story of the babies being beheaded, the reporter had to retract that statement.
Yeah. Yet
they still run with it.
Yeah, they're still, because that's the world we live in. You tell a lie, you retract the lie, but the lie is still out there.
Yep.
Like even with newspapers now, they'll print a false story, and then they'll just print a retraction, but that story is there.
Big.
Yeah, in the back somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and especially that it's a very well-known fact that lies spread way faster than truth.
Yeah.
Way faster.
Yeah. Yeah, well, because they can be so fantastical.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. I mean, the idea of someone beheading, but it's all, that's the other thing that gets me. It's always, and it's become a thing in the last, I don't know. Well, I guess it's just always been a thing, but it's like you say your enemy does something to children, because it's the innocence.
Yeah.
Anyone attacking innocence at that level is just evil. Because we can all just agree, babies are, their life. They're the next generation. They're the seeds of the next generation.
Yeah.
So to take out of it, and it's like, they eat babies, they rape babies, all these things. It's just
behead them, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
But well, what I find is the funny thing, right? So all of a sudden, everybody's waving their arms up in the air about, was it 40 babies?
Yeah, 40 babies.
Right? All right, so 40 babies, yet they cheer abortion.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
How interesting is that? That is the biggest double standard I've ever heard. You all celebrate that however many abortions that you all have. And 40 baby, or you've been told that 40 babies have died over here, and all of a sudden you're up in arms about it.
Yeah, and this is justification for killing 20,000 people.
Yeah.
Ludicrous. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is
insane.
nuts.
And the fact that, so there's 2.2 million people living in Palestine, and the average age, Max insists that is 17 years old.
Really?
The average age.
Well, here's
so the vast majority of the population, from what I've heard, is children.
Yeah. Well, here's another interesting little tidbit. The whole thing about Hamas took hostages, and they're trying to release the hostages, and everyone's like, oh, the Jewish hostages, and there's posters everywhere of the Jewish hostages.
Yep.
Israel have 10,000 Palestinian detainees, 5,000 of which have been detained since October 7th. So they're taking hostages, essentially. Also, most of those people are teenagers and children. Most of them have been arrested but not charged.
Yep.
So they're just being held without cause. They've got no chance of a trial. And the other day they released 117 prisoners. In the days leading up to that, they arrested another 116. So, they're playing a zero-sum game.
Yep.
But they are still 10,000 up. And it's
Yep.
nuts.
Absolutely. Well, it was very interesting to watch. I don't know if you've seen it yet, the Andrew Tate Piers Morgan interview.
I did watch that, yeah.
That was quite fascinating because I liked how Andrew really put Piers in a really tight spot.
Yeah.
Because they want to keep reaffirming the thing of, oh, can you denounce the terrorism that took place?
Mm.
He goes, look, I'm not condoning terrorism. However, if a young, fit, fighting male has seen his whole entire family slaughtered, you think he's going to sit there and smile? Say, oh, that's all right. They killed a few Hamas. It's fine that my family was collateral.
Yeah.
What do you think that guy's going to do?
Yeah. Yeah.
He's lost everything.
Yeah.
And when somebody's lost everything, that creates the most dangerous person ever, when somebody's lost everything and they've got nothing left.
Yeah. 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 It's there's that thing, I can't remember it exactly, but it's the most dangerous thing is the man who wanted to be left alone.
Mm.
Yeah. But I saw a thing today, like Israel has so much power already in the American political system. They've got so many people on board already. But the few that are speaking out against Israel, they still want to get rid of them. So the Israel lobby contacted a politician, I can't remember his name. He's turned it into a campaign video, but he's talking about how the Israel lobby offered him $20 million to run against this particular politician, because that's how they do it. They just, if there's someone they don't like, they just put absurd amounts of money into the opposition, because it's like in America, whoever spends the most money wins. It's like 100% of the time. It's
pay to win.
Yeah, it's a proven thing. The more you spend, the more likely you are to win.
Yep.
But I can understand it from that point of view. If someone gave me $20 million, I'd be incredibly grateful to them. I would be like, yeah, I support the guy that gave me $20 million. And even if I did have doubts in that, I would simply shut up about it, because I would be like, well, I took that money.
Mm.
But like, as Steve often says, and he said the other day, how do you sleep at night? Like, how do you live with yourself at that point? Is $20 million worth 20,000 lives?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
it's not.
See, somehow, in some way, shape, or form, whether it's karma or not, surely that has, those chickens have got to come home to roost.
Yep.
Eventually.
Yep. Yeah.
And yeah, it's funny, isn't it? Because we all fantasize about, it'd be great to have a shitload of money.
Mm.
But the more people I listen to talk about when you have more money, it's actually more problems.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the more money you've got, the more the cost of living goes up. I've always thought if I came into a lot of money ever, I wouldn't be real showy about it.
Mm.
I wouldn't be like, I'd be keeping it on the DL, just like fucking, I'm just,
Well, I mean, that's interesting because, like with Andrew Tate, for instance, how much money he's got.
Mm,
Like he's what 20, 30 sports cars or whatever it is, a whole bunch of properties.
yeah,
And ever since his arrest, the government took it all,
yeah,
and he's still fighting to get it back.
mm,
So there's way more to lose when you have all that money.
absolutely. Yeah,
And you've almost got to just completely, yeah, like you said, shelter yourself. Don't
yeah,
announce it.
yeah. Well, that's how it's really interesting when you see people like there's levels to this thing, there's like
Mm,
people who get rich like a movie star or
yeah,
you know, they get rich to the point where and they are very showy about it and they might have,
yeah,
100 million or
yeah.
200 million, but when you get into the billions, those
Mm,
dudes live like look at Bill Gates, gets around, he still looks like a fucking dork. Fucking can't even get laid. What an awkward dude. Just
yeah.
fucking like, "Oh, I'm kind
Well,
of a nerd." Nah.
yeah. Well,
Shut
what
the
did
fuck
I
up,
think?
Bill.
I liked Andrew's quote. He said, "Money's an amplifier."
Mm,
So, if you're a dork and all of a sudden you become rich, well, you're a rich dork.
dork, yeah.
If you're an alpha before you got rich, well, you're a rich alpha.
Yeah,
So that's just an amplifier.
yeah,
Like, yeah, I'm quite sure Bill Gates would, yeah, still be nerding out, going to Star Trek conventions or whatever.
yeah.
Yeah, cool, good on him.
Actually, yeah, I saw one classic example the other day. There was a video of him going down, um, being taken on a tour of some city's sewers. It was just like, what are you doing, Bill? Fucking
Yeah,
those nice shoes dirty. Fucking idiot. But that's just such a nerd thing to do, It's like,
oh,
oh, I
it
want to
is.
see
It
how the
is.
sewers work. Hey, it was interesting.
Yeah. I could think of 100,000 other cool places that you could go to other than fucking sewer.
Yeah, exactly.
Unless, of course, he wants to find the ooze and become a half human, half mutant ninja turtle.
Yeah, he was probably down there looking for a new disease.
Ah, yes, yes. You'll see that was one of the things that I really liked. What you and Steve talked about. Yeah, okay. Don't get me wrong. Okay, you've accomplished a lot. You're great with computers. How does that make you a doctor?
Yeah, yeah.
How does that make you a doctor? How does that translate?
The guy that can't fix a virus on a computer is going to fix a virus in us.
Yeah, yeah.
Fucking hell.
Well, he's sort of gone a little bit quiet though as of lately, hasn't he? I haven't heard much about him since a certain virus sort of was cured by Russia and Ukraine.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. That was
Because he
interesting.
had a divorce as well, didn't he? I think.
Yeah, I think there's so much heat on him at the moment from people
Mm.
just being like, Bill, if you go to India, you'll be arrested. And people the other day were calling for his arrest in America. And yeah,
Yeah. Well, now that you mentioned India, was that based on the polio vaccine
one of
that
those.
killed? That killed a whole fucking bunch of people, and they went, "No, you can fuck off.
Yeah,
Don't come back."
yeah, yeah. We don't want you here. We don't want your help.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I'd be fascinated to do like a really deep dive into that guy because I
Mm,
find it like I can't imagine what it would be like to have that kind of money and the things that you would do.
yeah.
And I find the guilt by association thing a little dubious. Like I don't really buy that 100% of the time.
Mm.
But at the same time, it does seem like he's into some pretty nefarious shit.
Yeah.
But then he gets misquoted a lot, and yeah, it would be interesting to do a serious deep dive. But I
Yeah.
think the minute he, you know, the footage of him getting pied and the guy fucking smashes a pie in his face. Have you seen that?
Not seen that. No.
Ah, look that up on YouTube when we get off the call. It's pretty funny.
It.
I
Okay.
think I think that was the moment he decided. I think that was when he became a supervillain. And he went, fuck humanity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll create a little something to deal with you.
Yeah. Pie in the face. I'll pie you in the face. And speaking of the bovid, that's coming back. The
Yes.
I saw
Yeah.
a thing on Twitter, a segment from the project, which was
Project.
you know, the project. That's what I was thinking. Like I saw something about a mass shooter and someone saying, oh, they watched this program, and so that program copped a lot of heat. And the thing was, the shoot actually didn't really watch that program. It was like a couple of screenshots. But if I was ever to do something like that, if I was ever to like go fucking postal and shoot up a bunch of people, the first thing I'd do before I went out, I'd go, I was inspired by the project to do this.
Oh, I like
Waleed
that. That's
Ali or
wicked.
whatever his fucking name is.
Yeah.
He totally
Yeah.
inspired this.
Oh,
Yeah.
jeez. Yeah. That subject came up last night while we were having dinner.
Yeah.
Something about was it a new strain or whatever?
Yeah.
Right.
They're saying, yeah, get your vaccine and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah, get your
Like,
26,000th shot.
yeah,
And
like,
and this time we might throw in two big nuts.
yeah, who's gonna
Yeah.
do that? Fucking that fucking guy in America that was like, you mean if I get a vaccine, I get these tasty fries and a burger? But wait, and you could see him looking off to the fucking right, laughing. He's just like, I can't believe I'm doing this.
Yeah.
Just the fucking yeah.
Well, like what you said in one of the other ones, I think when you and Steve were talking about porn addiction, when something's free, you're the product.
100%.
Yep.
100%. Yep.
And then but to think that there's all these diseases and things you could be funding more
Mm,
that you're not, but you can fund this whole new program and it's free for everybody.
yeah.
How's that work?
It's funny. I get into that like about like porn in particular. Like I tell people, I say, well, you know, porn's a weapon. And as
Mm-hmm.
soon as I say that, they're like, no, 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 like they will defend it to the hilt. And they'll like I have this with a lot of my friends, and then I'll tell them about like one Israeli guy owns all the porn websites and he's a rabbi.
What?
One rabbi owns all the porn sites like Pornhub and RedTube, all the different ones.
Whoa. Didn't
Yeah.
know that.
But here's the interesting thing. Back in 2002, I think it was, the Israeli army went into Palestine and they took over the TV stations. They took over
Mm,
3 of the TV stations and they started broadcasting porn.
yep.
People are like, well, why would they do that? And their argument was, oh, we were spreading freedom. But that's not what they were doing. This goes back to, I'm getting the impression you've heard this. Have you heard this?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So it goes back to um like Samson and Delilah. And
Yeah.
the what's the other guy's name? I can't think of his name, but yeah, if you're led by your passions, you're a slave, basically.
Mm,
So, you know, a slave, if he's a good man, is free, yet a king, if he's wicked, is a slave, because you're a slave to your passions. It's like with drugs. No one can deny that drugs can be used as a weapon and are used as a weapon, because if you're hooked on smack or crack or whatever, you're not going to pick up a gun and go fight some enemy. You're too busy getting high. So it's a
want the
great
next
way.
hit.
Yeah, it's a great way to just take out particularly military age men.
Yeah.
It's perfect fucking weapon. It's a silent weapon.
Well,
And you can throw them in jail.
yeah. But the porn thing with Palestine that you were talking about before, that would also surely tie into depopulation too, wouldn't it?
Well, yeah, that's the other thing.
Yeah, get the money away from the women, because it's just easier to have a quick spank.
Yeah, it's easier to whack off, and porn, it fucks up your relationships. Like that's the other thing. The guys that are always defending porn, they don't have a relationship. They're just like,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
think what
Well, I
you. I
remember.
mean, I'm not. I don't want to stop people. I think that's the point of this life is free will to some degree. Although
We're
I've
all
been
on our own
going down,
journey.
although I've been going down the rabbit hole of there is no free will. Just to look
Yeah.
into it,
Yeah.
I don't really buy it, but they do make some interesting arguments.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It's a very weird thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I
Well, I
just
always
go
go
on.
on. Now you go.
Oh, just when I say it to people, I'm not, I'm never saying to them, porn's a weapon, you shouldn't watch it or whatever. Or Steve and I have discussed it and said, yeah, don't watch porn. It's gross and it's fucking, it's fucking you up.
Oh, well,
But
see, I remember I got to see, you remember Tom Green,
yeah,
like from Freddy Got Fingered and stuff like
yeah,
that.
yeah,
He had a really fucking good joke about it when I seen him live,
yeah.
and he talked about it like, you start off on the soft stuff, and all of a sudden you're comparing with your friends. Like, oh, I walk off to, was it 3 hooker gangbangs? Well, I like 10 hooker gangbangs. And he goes, I can't even get remotely aroused without a triple homicide myself.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's exactly the same as like say heroin, for example. It's a tolerance.
Yeah, yeah. My mate Harvey reckons that he's found his niche and he knows what he's like. He doesn't really go down the rabbit holes, but I don't know. I've always said to him, if that works for you, that works for you. But at the same time, I'd much rather have an actual relationship with a
Yep.
woman,
Yep.
and yeah. But it's just one of those things. It's the the traps of modernity, I guess.
Mm. Yeah, see, it's tough, and I remember talking about this with my dad, because the way that the gap is getting bigger, especially more so with the generations coming up, it's going to be so tough and so difficult for boys to be able to find a girl that's not indoctrinated with some hardcore feminism.
Yeah.
So at what stage and we might, probably a little bit there already, do a lot of guys to start going, no, you know what, I'm going to give you exactly what you want.
Mm.
I'll just date Mrs. Palmer and her 5 daughters,
Mm.
and I'll keep all my money to myself.
Yeah.
And you can just go and piss off and do what you want, and I'll just do my own thing.
Yeah.
But then there's the classic conundrum. He goes, well, do you fight against it, or do you give them what they want?
Yeah.
And then the the decent women out there are eventually going to go, well, what the fuck's going on?
Mm.
And they're probably going to have to be the ones that ends up fighting against this shit.
Well, that's the thing. There's always going to be, hopefully, a roughly equal number of, like, reasonable men to reasonable women,
Mm,
that see through the bullshit. But, like, I mean, I don't know how much I fell for it when I was younger, but I was on a very different journey when I was younger. It was very much self-involved, and
yeah,
so it was. I kind of fell victim to the same thing, but bought into a lot of bullshit about it's selfish to have kids, and I used that as kind of a justification to just remain selfish and just
yeah,
um, yeah.
yeah. Well, that's definitely one of their little strategies, isn't it? With cost of living,
Mm,
and how much, just especially here in Australia, a lot of people are not having many more than one kid
yeah.
for those exact reasons. And it's very interesting. I've talked to quite a few people, and this is not a judgment thing, exactly like what you said, each to their own. That as a justification for not having children, well, I want to be able to do what I want to do.
Yeah.
I do somewhat hear where they're coming from, because they are making it so fucking hard.
Yeah. Yeah. It's absurd how hard it is, like, just to survive
Yeah,
on your own. I do think that, like, having a kid would give you a different perspective, and
yes,
you'd
it
find
does
a
for
way,
sure.
you know.
Mm,
So yeah, it's really worrying, because I know like I know so many people have fallen into the trap, and you get to my age and you're just like, well, fuck, I kind of fucked up there, didn't I? And I see people
yeah.
that have had kids, and some of them are the most irresponsible fucking people I've ever met. But they've got kids, and they're fine. Kids,
Yeah.
kids work it out. Oh, I used to
Yeah.
do this bit actually where I was like, have you ever met the kids of, like, a heroin addict?
No,
They're
unfortunately.
they're fucking amazing. The children of heroin addicts are like they step up early. Like the older brother will be taking care of the younger sister, or the older sister will
Oh,
be taking care.
yeah.
Like they very quickly work out, right, parents can't be relied on. I
Yeah.
have to, they're just,
Self responsibility.
they are just the most amazing fucking kids, right?
That's
And it's
interesting.
kind of tragic, but the bit I used to do was like, so, I know how to raise kids now. I know how to raise awesome kids. It's just like, oh, this is hurting me more than it's hurting you, son. You know, just,
Do as
uh,
I say, not as I do.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Doing this for you, boy.
Very good.
Unreal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, going back to what you said before about giving you a different perspective, I'll yeah, I'll never forget something my dad said to me once. It's like he said, like when you're a kid, it's all just, yeah, gimme, gimme, gimme. I want, I want, I want.
Yeah.
And then when you have kids, it's like the circle of life
Yeah.
is complete. And then all of a sudden you're the one giving everything.
Yeah.
And it's just, yeah, it just goes on and on and on.
And you do it willingly.
Yeah.
Well, in most cases, yeah.
Yeah.
The the thing of the single mothers, that drives me nuts. Like, the
Breakdown of the family unit.
yeah, and when you look at the stats of, like, what happens to kids who grow up in a single parent family, and particularly
Hmm.
single mothers, because
I was
there's
one of them. Yep.
Yeah, me too.
Yep.
And yeah, you go off the rails very easily.
Mm.
You don't have, yeah, you
Yeah,
don't have
because it's very
balance.
interesting in it because they don't want to admit this. I'm sure you'll probably agree with what I say. In the younger stages of a child's development, yeah, you could probably argue, yeah, the mother's more important
Yeah, definitely.
in the younger years.
In the younger
Once
years.
they reach a certain stage, the dad needs to really step in and make sure that they don't go off the rail and start, getting up to mischief.
100%.
But now they're trying to criminalize that almost.
Yeah, you need that threat of violence or trouble or whatever it is that a father,
Mm,
brings to the table. That like,
yep.
because it's like if I fuck up, if I do something really fucking stupid, whatever, mum will forgive me. You know, she'll be like, "There, it's okay, that's all right."
Yeah.
But
Mm,
dad will be like, "You fucking little,
mm,
kick your ass."
yeah. Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah,
Yeah. Of course, you can't even send children to their room nowadays because it's too traumatizing.
yeah. I've heard people. There's been a few videos on Twitter talking about Generation Alpha, like the next generation, like these little kids now, and like they can't be told anything, and
Mm,
they just,
yep.
if they don't want to do something, they don't do it. They're just little fuckers.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
Yep.
I don't know where that's gonna end up. I hope
Exactly right.
I hope that they will get to a certain age and they'll go, hang on, we're kind of
Mm.
being tricked here. We're kind of being fucked over. So let's, figure some
Well,
shit out.
is this also a part of that old saying that was it soft times lead to soft people,
Yeah,
which leads to hard times, which
good
leads to
times.
hard people.
Yeah,
So are
good
we
times create.
currently going through that next cycle?
Yeah,
Like, yeah, we absolutely are.
yeah, yeah,
I remember my wife sent me such a good meme a while back.
yeah,
Um, and so the top half was our Lord and Savior, Greta.
yeah,
I can't remember exactly what the caption was. Oh, was it? No, our generation's going to save the world.
yeah,
And then underneath there was a picture of World War II guys in the trenches. And then it just said, ha ha, your generation doesn't know if you're a boy, girl, or a fucking toaster.
yeah, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, she's been coming out a little bit more, hasn't she?
Yeah. It's interesting her stance on the Israel Palestine thing is
Oh,
causing a
which way's she
quite
gone?
stir. She's totally on the side of Palestine. So she is spitting in
Yeah,
the
that's
face of
yeah.
the elites, essentially.
Yes.
Who are,
Because didn't she somehow linked it to climate change, didn't she,
I'm
at
sure
one of
she
the
will.
rallies?
Yeah, I'm sure she will have. Yeah,
Never let a good crisis go to
put
waste.
away. 100%.
Yep.
Insane.
Yeah, so if you could, I remember you and Steve talking about her background. Can you run me through that again?
Oh, yeah, yeah. Okay, so her mother was a singer, and she
Yeah.
was I think she might have won the Eurovision contest one year.
Oh, okay.
So the mother started going on tour because she was, in demand,
Yep.
and left the daughters at home with the father. Um, the daughters didn't like this, didn't react well to this at all. This is when Greta's eating disorder started and
Okay.
set off all her behavioral problems because, you know, mum's gone. Mum's just gone. And so, the nurturing side. And so now the father's trying to be the mother, which he can't fucking do.
No.
And so the kids reacted to that, and Greta in particularly developed an eating disorder and the behavioral problems. But because they were in the, in those circles, they had the friends that were very famous and influential people, her little stunts got picked up.
Mm.
There's a bit more to it than that. I can't really think at the moment, but essentially that's where it all stems from, that, her family broke down, essentially. I mean, it'd be very similar to a divorce, because the mother is just away. And the mother would have been like, yeah, I'm fucking going on tour. This is, it's money. It's fucking, yeah. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, the mother leaves and the children react to that.
Yes.
I
can't remember exactly what it was, but it seemed that she leaked instructions from her handler once on Twitter,
Really?
and it got taken down very, very quickly.
Yeah.
But a whole bunch of people, screen captured it.
Okay.
So it was I think it was something like a conversation of what her manager wanted her to post. And she
Ah,
accidentally posted that.
okay.
Yes, and it was very quickly taken down.
Yeah.
But
Well, I wonder how much they can really control a teenager,
mm,
because you can, an adult, you can be, speak reasonably with them and make them understand, well, this is money. This is going to be, money and influence, and this is going to cost you in the long term.
yep.
But a teenager doesn't give a shit about that.
Yeah.
A teenager's just like, no, I'm right. I'm doing this for a cause. And yeah. Fuck, there's some loonies on that cause at the moment, fucking blocking traffic everywhere.
Those
Not gonna end
clips,
well.
I mean, obviously for legal purposes, I'm not encouraging it. But I've seen when people they start bumping them off the road with their cars.
Yeah.
They've had enough.
Yeah.
And I can understand where they're coming from. I mean, especially like, you selfish prick, if you're stopping ambulances or fire trucks from getting where they need to be,
Yeah.
you're not helping your cause.
Yeah.
You honestly think that people are sitting there in those cars, what, are just going to get out and sit with you?
Mm.
They're not going to do that.
My favorite one was the bus that just drove through them, just fucking
Yeah.
slowly drove through them.
Yep.
Found out that he had a bus full of immigrants.
Oh.
So, or migrants rather, the migrants coming into America and shit, or wherever it was. So he was just like, I can imagine that bus stop driver was just like, I don't give a fuck. Fucking someone's dying here today.
Oh shit.
Oh.
Yeah, and then what else they do? They started throwing, was it the juice or something on paintings
Mm.
or some sort of soup.
Stoop. Yeah.
Yeah, soup. So they did that for a little bit, and then they changed over to powder.
Mm.
Like, they started hopping the fence at soccer games, and they were throwing the powder all over the field. And I think at one of those billiards World Series as well, somebody just hopped on the billiards table
Yeah.
and started throwing the powder everywhere.
Right. Fucked up the game. Thing is,
Jeez.
like, I kind of respect them to some degree, because it's like, if you really believed all this stuff and you're really willing to put things on the line, but
Mm,
unfortunately they're idiots. They're, like
useful idiots.
yeah, like
Yep.
the woman wearing the stop oil thing on a plane, and the ones on the road, and they're wearing like fluoro jackets that are made of oil. it just, there's just so much stupidity surrounding it, and the manipulation, and we see it,
Yeah.
but they really think, and it's like with Trump, like if you really believed that Trump was like the Antichrist Hitler, you would fucking do whatever you want. You might lose your shit on social media and whatever, but
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just don't understand how people can think like that. I don't.
Yeah. I think Gavin McGuinness.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. He said the same thing. He goes, basically, what they're thinking is that Trump is baby Hitler.
Mm,
And if we can kill baby Hitler, that'll stop
yeah.
the rise of the Fourth Reich or whatever it fucking is.
Yeah. People are posting things on Twitter like, if Trump gets in, they're gonna like lock up my relatives. My relatives and me will all be put in concentration camps.
Yeah, who was it? Was it I think it was the lady that's running under Biden as his second in charge. I can't
Okay.
remember her name.
Kamala Harris, or the
Yes.
one? Okay.
Yeah. And then there's also AOC.
Yeah.
Was it Alexandria occasionally Cortez, as some people like to call her? Yeah. But
Yeah.
I think they were saying something like that we've got to get a list of the names of all the people who voted for Trump.
That's right. Yeah. It's
They're absolute
amazing.
psycho.
Yeah, it's amazing how fascistic they've become without
Yeah.
realizing. I don't know if they don't realize it or they do realize it, but
I think it's that they've got that thing in their head. Was it the ends justify the means?
yeah, that's it. That's it. Like
And
they're,
it's the same thing, like, like we were just discussing with the war before,
mm,
like the justification that's going around at the moment. Oh, well, a lot of German citizens died, but do you think it was worth the price for getting rid of the Nazis?
mm,
Like, they're trying to make that direct comparison now.
yeah,
It's when you like using, what was it, white phosphorus and dime ammunition. Like
mm,
that dime ammunition was fucking scary. Like the slideshow that Max Egan showed
yeah,
of that, and it just fucking shreds human bodies to pieces,
yeah, right.
and they can't treat it.
Yeah, I bet.
It's not like just a bullet that makes a small hole that you can just sort of flick out. It just shreds.
Yeah,
But yeah, that's what I was going to say before. So remember a while ago you were talking about NPCs.
hmm,
I start to think sometimes, like, for example, with these Just Stop Oil people, are they NPCs?
to some degree, yeah.
Because they talk a lot like them. It is almost like that they either have no soul, or the soul is like either dormant,
Mm.
or it's been really like compressed and really put to it
Yeah,
somewhere.
they haven't earned their souls yet.
Yeah,
Would be,
that's it. Yeah, that's
mm,
perfect.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
They
because I
have
remember,
they have a
um,
long way to go to earn their
yeah,
souls.
yeah, because I remember Lisa said that in an episode of The Simpsons once. Because is it Buddhism maybe that says that you're not born with a soul, but a soul is something that has to be earned
Mm. Yeah,
over time.
yeah,
So that if you work hard and do good and better things, you'll eventually earn it.
mm. Yeah,
Whereas if you don't, yeah, you won't.
yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we're all born these kind of empty vessels, so we're told. I don't really agree with that. I think there are certain traits and attributes that people are born with that
Yeah.
they will carry through their life.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you get to the point where, because when you're just spewing, yeah, it's just like, oh, this is what I was told today, and you're just like fucking. Oh.
Yeah.
When I was young, it was nuclear war, and
Russia?
yeah, and
Yeah, Cold War.
it never happened. But it was
Yep.
this
Never happened.
constant fear. It
Fear
was just
porn.
pumped into us. It was like, oh, nuclear war any day now. And
Yep.
we'd all be out there, oh, stop nuclear and all this shit. And it was just retarded. It was just like, yeah, that never happened.
And it's exactly like what you and Steve say. It's like that. So that same thing, they have to keep running the apocalypse fear program,
Hmm.
and it's almost like that they have a limited lifespan. And
Yeah,
once that's sort of done, they're like, oh, okay, well, we've done that. And it's probably about at the time that they don't believe it anymore.
yeah,
Run the next thing.
yeah,
And if people don't see that over the last few years, then fuck, I don't think they ever will.
yeah.
Just to see that as soon as Russia Ukraine happened, it was like Russia Ukraine. I think a little bit before that was BLM,
Mm,
but these other things just bang, they run the program. Oh, it's this now.
yeah.
Yeah, COVID's cured.
I was fascinated all through COVID how terrorism stopped. It was like,
Yeah,
so these terrorists will fly planes into buildings, strap bombs to themselves and blow themselves up, but God forbid they get the sniffles. It doesn't fucking make any sense, you know? It was
yeah,
just like, oh no, terrorism's not a thing now.
yeah, yeah.
3 years.
Well, what did it cost you in terms of well, how many friends and family members no longer talk to you because of what happened and your views and opinions on it?
Yeah, a few. It
Few?
really divided, like with friends, especially family. Um, not so much. Like his family members, I don't speak to. Um, simply because we just don't speak for other reasons. But friends, definitely, it was like it really was a thing of like, yeah, it was very divisive. What about you?
Not so much friends. I think I was actually pretty lucky. I mean, most of them actually sort of knew what was going on.
Well, that yeah,
But
yeah,
family, some family, yes,
okay.
absolutely.
Yeah, I was lucky
Yeah,
with
that
family. Like they'd say, get vaccinated, and dad especially be like, you're getting bloody vaccinated, and I'd be like, no, and
and they're so shocked.
yeah,
Like
and
they
they'd be like,
genuinely cannot believe it. Why?
yeah,
I don't know. Do you think maybe because it's a trial and the trials don't stop until 2023?
yeah,
So like we're literally being tested on?
yeah.
No,
Well,
no, no, they've already done the tests. I'm like, yeah, and how have the tests been going? Have you even been looking into that at all?
yeah, all the animals died. That's not a good sign.
Exactly right.
Fuck.
Yeah. Yeah, see, I think I was telling you last time, unfortunately I put it off for as long as I can, but I got away with only having two
Okay.
before all the mandates stopped.
Well, if you didn't get any side effects, you didn't get any
I did a little bit,
a little bit.
yeah, a little bit of myocarditis.
Oh fuck, man.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. Because I remember at the time it was quite hard watching a lot of Max Egan at the time and some of the things that he was saying. I got to a stage I'm like, fuck, I actually can't look into any conspiracy shit at the moment or or what's really going on. I'm like, shit. I'm hearing like some of the things that people were saying.
Yeah.
Like the last one that really freaked me out, and that was the last straw, and I stopped. Was that the idea was that mRNA, with it reprogramming your DNA, and that when your life cycles, so you have a life cycle every 7 years, I think, when every cell in your body has been replaced.
Yeah.
That once you reach your next life cycle, you need more vaccines because the vaccines have replaced the instructions that your body naturally knows
Oh,
when to
fuck.
go to the next life cycle.
Jesus.
So then I went, oh, fuck's sake. All right. So I added up the math in my head. I'm like, okay, 7 years old, 14, 21, 28. I was past 28 and I'm before 35. So then I thought, oh, fuck. So does this mean when I turn 34, 35, I'm just going to drop dead? And then it really started fucking stressing me out. I thought, oh, fucking hell. So I just stopped.
Well, the worst thing you can do is stress yourself out and
Exactly right.
put all that fear-based programming in. So yeah,
Yep.
probably
Because
best to just,
that was the other conclusion that I came to. He goes, well, is this shit all being put out there? Because, like we were just saying before, because they just want you in perpetual fear mode.
yeah,
Like, who knows? There might be some truth to it, but if we can stress you out in the meantime, all the better.
yeah, yeah.
But
Well,
yeah, you got away with it, didn't you?
yeah, I just refused, flat out refused. Um, I was even lucky to get the job that I ended up getting. The manager was kind of just kept steering away from it, kept just going, oh, the vaccine. Oh, I don't think we're allowed to ask you about that. And I was like, yeah, good. Like, he was really,
No comment.
yeah, he's really great. I really appreciate him a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like after everything that I've been through, like there's nothing that they can say to me, and there's nothing they can threaten me with to make me take a vaccine at this point.
Mm,
And it's like,
yep.
yeah, so that's nuts.
Did it almost, did you get in a position where it was a close call where you thought, fuck, if I don't take this, I won't have a fucking place to live and blah, 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 all that shit?
There were times I nearly gave in. There were times I
Okay.
kind of went, nah, fuck it, I'll just get it. And, but they never really lasted long. And I was always like, well, I'll, I'll do whatever I have to do. I'll, go and live with my folks if I have to. I always had a backup plan to
Yep.
make sure I was, not put in that position. But it
Yeah.
was tough. It wasn't easy.
Oh, fuck no.
There were times where they were like, threatening social security and all sorts of shit. So they were
Yeah.
really like clamping down. And that's the other thing. Who knows what's coming next? Because,
Yep.
they're talking about the next pandemic. There's
Yeah, it's supposed to be Marburg or something.
there's the walking pneumonia that's going around India, and
Right.
who knows But I, with all that stuff, I've kind of tuned out a fair bit for the same reason as you. Like, I don't want all that fear programming,
Yep.
until it's an actual threat.
Yeah.
I'm just not, you know,
Yeah, you got to be in the moment, like you were saying. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yep.
absolutely, yeah,
Well, I'm not going to lie that I did have this thought for a while when it was getting real bad with the lockdowns and shit. I thought if I wasn't married and didn't have a kid and I had a little bit of cash, I probably would have fucking bought a tent and just ran off into the fucking forest.
yep,
I had that thought quite a few times, and I have heard whispers a lot of people actually did that for a while.
Yeah, I knew quite a few. I used to go walking up 1,000 steps up into the forest,
Oh
and
yeah, I've done
meet them
that.
all the time. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a cool run. It's good.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
getting back
I
into it.
remember when I did it. I know you probably got the same. You'll start, somebody will pass you, and you're like halfway up the steps, and they're running past you again. What the fuck?
Yeah,
So you've run all the way up, you went all the way down, and you've come back up again, and you've overtaken me.
yeah, yeah.
Shit.
I'm fucking nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, if it's did you didn't ever go and visit them, did you?
Hey, is it?
The people that you know that ran off into the woods.
Oh, a couple of them. Yeah, I'd run into them up in the out in the forest. Fucking some of them were right, like loonies, like really, really off the, just gone totally down that path of like very religious or a lot of people. That's the other thing about it. It was a really spiritual time.
Mm,
Like there's an old saying that's like the most spiritual experience a man can ever have is being in war. And we were at war.
yeah,
So, and a lot of people, you know, really reached out to find something else,
yeah,
like went deep inside. And
yep.
so, you got to look at the positives of things,
Yes,
you
for
know.
sure. Yeah, yeah. I remember talking about this a while back because with a good mate of mine, and it was really easy to fall into despair,
Mm,
and think that, oh yeah, like all the shit that we look into, oh yeah, they're going to start rounding people up soon, all that kind of crap. But then you sort of got to go, well, that might be what they want, but there's a difference between what they want and what they're going to get.
yeah, yeah,
Like
100%.
I could tell you right now, yeah, tomorrow I'm going to go and grab myself a Ford Mustang because I want one. Doesn't mean I'm going to get it.
Yeah, 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 exactly.
Yeah, so I'm back on the subject of what's coming next. So climate change,
Mm,
that'll get pretty hardcore real soon, I reckon.
yeah,
That'll be another big one because that'll be the restriction of movement again.
yeah. I mean, they've been pushing it pretty hard. I think they're on a sped up agenda because they got slowed down for a few years,
Mm,
Trump getting in and whatnot. So everything
yep,
got sidetracked for them.
yep,
So they've had to speed everything up.
yep.
And yeah,
Because
yeah,
where you're speeding it up, you're making mistakes.
yeah, 100%. And people are seeing through the lies a lot.
Yep. Yeah, because I noticed that. Remember, yeah, me and the same friend were talking about it a while back. Because you think when the lockdowns happened,
Mm,
I always had it in my head. I thought, yeah, I reckon that stuff's probably going to happen around 2040, 2050.
yeah,
I wasn't expecting it to be when it happened. I thought, nah, that was going to be way off into the future yet.
yeah,
So does that mean that something, either an event or a series of events, forced their hand and they had to do it sooner than what they would have hoped?
yeah. I think that's well, yeah. I mean, they've got their agenda, the 2030.
Yeah,
And they like to keep on track with these things, but often these things get pushed back anyway.
yeah,
Things didn't quite go to plan. Like, I don't think they'll hit their 2030 mark,
no,
but the plans are in place. So it really doesn't matter, you know. whether they hit an exact mark or,
Or by a particular date.
yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, the plans are in place, everything's in motion. I think like Owen Benjamin always talks about, buy some land and get your family on the land and grow your own food and do the homesteading thing. But not
Mm,
everyone can do that. And it's like I'm
no.
always listening. I listen to Owen and I'm just like, dude, you know, you had resources and you've got income from
Yep.
your community, but you know, we can't all fucking do this.
No. And anyway, like what they've done over hundreds of years ago, like and Pol Pot, for example, or name any of these sort of tyrannical governments. That's all well and good to do that. Is that going to stop them knocking on your front door and saying, "Hey, those piles of vegetables out the back, yeah, hand them over"?
Yeah, exactly.
But no, but I've done this all myself. Oh, okay, we'll leave. Like, no, no,
Yeah. No, no.
no, not at all.
Yeah.
And they'll come back and make sure that you gave them everything.
Mm. Yep.
I think that happened. When was it? Was it with Stalin that he went out to the farms
Yeah.
and made them hand everything over, but then they would come back and they would double check
Yeah.
anything that they might have missed, and if they catch you in the act,
Yeah.
then you were fucking shot on the spot.
Yep.
Like fuck. Yeah, and with what happened, during the lockdowns and rubber bullets and all that shit, you got to ask yourself, well, people have the attitude of, nah, that couldn't happen again.
Yeah. No, it's
Yes, it can.
yeah.
It's happened again and again and again.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's fucking nuts.
Yeah. Yeah. So what was it? Agenda 2030, and there's also Agenda 2050, correct?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay. I haven't read too much into the 2050 stuff.
No. It's yeah. I know that like it's interesting. I've got a lot of friends that kind of just say, oh no, they like you're giving them too much credit. They really don't, you know, they're not as competent as you're making them out. They seem to, a lot of people seem to think that the world just kind of unfolds in this kind of chaotic, haphazard way.
Mm.
And that, I don't know, perhaps we can steer it to some degree, but people underestimate,
Yeah,
the
they do.
power of people who make plans,
Yes.
because most people don't make plans. Most
Nope.
people's plans are, if they do have plans, they're very small plans, but you got
Yep.
these macro realities where people are making plans for everyone, and
And multi-generational plans.
yeah,
That's the
the
most
really,
impressive one.
yeah,
That I'm going to start something, and my fucking children and my great grandchildren or whatever, they're going to
yeah,
carry it on,
yeah,
and I'm going to teach them what to do
yeah.
and pass it on.
It's an interesting thing that there's the old saying, Greek saying that's progress is made when men plant trees who will never see the shade, who will never get to sit
Oh,
under the shade of those trees, something like that.
yep,
Um, that that idea works for evil just as well as like that idea is like, doing something good for the future, that even though you won't get any benefit from it,
mm,
the future people in the future will. But it,
yep,
it works just as well for evil.
yep,
So, you can be like, progress is made when people begin to enslave humanity who will never get to own a slave.
Very good.
Yeah.
Also done. What made you stop doing stand up?
Well, it was mainly the whole COVID thing and
Okay.
moving out of Melbourne.
Yep.
I just kind of dropped off, and I've done a little bit. I did a bit the other week. I got up and I did a comedy debate, and then I did 5 minutes in Footscray.
Oh,
But very rusty. So, like when you do it, stand up's one of those things. If you do it a lot, like if I was out there every night doing it as often as I could, I'd get good again. And, you know, it's kind of
like a
tempting.
muscle, I guess.
Yeah, it's tempting. But at the same time, I also know that's not really the future I want. It doesn't appeal to me, like traveling around and doing spots in clubs and, like,
Yep.
I mean, if I could like develop a show and do my own show or something, maybe, but
Just like a here and there
yeah,
kind of thing, maybe instead of a full blown, full time thing. Yeah.
yeah. I don't know. I might get back into it if I find myself writing something that I think has value. Um, yeah, I'll see how it goes.
Yep.
It
What was
is.
the general sort of capacities of the club that you do?
Oh, it depends. Like most nights, you're doing. There's like 5 or 6 people in the crowd.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
5 or 6
Yep.
punters and a few comedians.
Yep.
A lot of times it's just comedians. You know, like I never really got to the professional level. I wasn't making any money at it. Um, but when you work your way up, you can get to that. And yeah,
Yep.
it's
Well, maybe think about it like this. If you could get back into it,
mm,
maybe you could book yourself a spot, a permanent spot on the project.
yeah, life goals.
Oh, geez, that now that's a sad life goal.
Yeah,
What do you want to do? You want to get on TV? You want to get a Netflix special? No, I'll get on the project.
yeah. I'll shoot myself. Fuck. That
Oh
would be the
shit!
only reason I would want to get on the project, so I could shoot myself in the face
Live on TV.
on TV.
Oh,
Fuck.
those shows were just bloody horrendous. Did you ever get into that guy on YouTube, Gary Awesome?
The name sounds familiar. I can't think of the. I don't think
Okay.
so.
Yeah, he used to take the piss out of a lot of those segments.
Yeah.
Oh, they're just bloody, yeah, they are shocking.
Something I find interesting is people getting their news from comedians,
Mm,
like, and serious commentators trying to be funny, and funny people trying to be serious.
yeah,
And I think it's a real sign of the degradation of society, because comedians always have an out. Like you can always go, oh, it was a joke, or,
yeah,
I was trying to be funny, or whatever it is, or, I'm a comedian. Why would you listen to me? And yeah, there's a real, I find that manipulation in the media is, I don't know, a little disturbing.
yep.
But then you get guys like Jimmy Dore, you know, I find he's a pretty good source of information, and yeah,
Well,
yeah.
Russell Brand seems to be doing all right,
Russell Brand's yeah, he's doing well.
apart from the recent allegations. But of course, we know that most people that speak out go against through these sorts of things. And
It's interesting. They just kind of flew by, like
mm,
nothing much came of it.
yeah,
I think everyone's sick of it and awake to it. And also, it
yeah,
was like, it's Russell Brand. We all know what he's
yeah,
like.
yeah.
So,
If anybody thinks that chicks weren't throwing themselves at him, then they're delusioned.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Because that was the interesting thing about the course, how much they, programs like the project, they'll always come back to the Donald Trump comments on the video.
Mm.
Oh, you can grab him here and all
Oh,
that
yeah.
kind of shit. And
Yeah.
then like how grossly out of context
Mm.
that's taken is just hilarious. He said you can.
Mm.
They, in other words, they let you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, are you not familiar with this concept of if somebody's famous, that people will throw themselves at them?
Yeah.
Of course, Eddie Murphy had that amazing bit in either Raw or Delirious, I think it was.
Which was
Because I'll be walking down the street and people would throw it at me. Ed, thank
that?
you. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, ridiculous. Because I remember somebody that I was talking to once, the girl was shitting on about how bad Donald Trump was
Yeah.
over that line. And then another time she was going to a Shawn Mendes concert, right?
Okay.
And I heard her make the comment, "Oh my god, he's so hot! I would just leap on him if I had the chance."
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, a bit of a double standard there.
Oh yes, it is.
Yeah. Well, fucking, what's his name? Oh, fuck, what is his? One of Richard Nixon's guys. He's still around today. Anyway, some guy. He was like one of the ugliest people in history, and he said power is an aphrodisiac. Can't think of his name, but yeah,
Yeah.
one of the ugliest fuckers you'd ever
What
know.
was that? What that line that Stephen had when he said that like Mick Jagger's fucked every chick on earth and he's nothing pretty to look at,
Yeah,
something like that.
yeah, yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Did did he say if he's got any other stand-up shows coming out? Because I remember he had that one. I got that last DVD that he had, the Nervous Breakthrough,
Mm.
but I thought he'd done another one after that, but I haven't seen anything of it.
He'll I'm not sure if he's got anything else out recently, but
Okay.
he will be coming to Melbourne.
Yeah.
And, I'm not sure if he'll be doing any full shows, but he'll no doubt get some. Like I saw him ages ago at the Brunny, and he did like an hour and a half just at the Brunny. So there'll be plenty of opportunities like that to see him.
Yeah, because I remember when I first started getting into him, and I think when he was last in Australia,
Yeah,
I can't remember what happened, but there was a few shows that he was doing in Melbourne. Like, right, I'm gonna go fucking see him, and something came up and I couldn't go.
yeah,
Oh fuck! And then of course he moved back to England or whatever, and then the whole world gets shut down. And
yeah,
of course, yeah, I don't blame him. He didn't want to fucking come back here. No way.
yeah. You
He didn't
see,
fucking want to come back here.
Australia doesn't suit him.
Nah.
Yeah. Yeah, fucking, it's nuts,
Oh,
man. But it's,
yeah,
I'm glad he's back in Australia,
yeah,
and yeah, we'll get to fucking. Hang on a sec. I just got to send a message.
yeah. You're right. Oh, good.
Yeah, I got to make a call in a sec.
Oh yeah. Do you want to just wrap it up then?
Yeah, let's wrap it up.
Yep. Wrap it
All
up.
right,
Sick. All right. Well, yeah. Thanks
awesome,
again. That
man.
was bloody good doing it again. And I knew it would happen just like last time. It's
Yeah,
been what, hour and a half, 2 hours, and it's just felt like 5 minutes.
yeah, yeah. These
Bloody
chats are
hell.
great. I really like these chats, man. They're really good.
Oh, good.
I'll get to this. I'll upload it at some point when I
Yep.
get some time. I'll get my studio set up, and hopefully I'll get my studio set up in the other room. And next time we'll just do some live shit because I really want to get into doing more live, like
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be
streaming
sick.
and stuff. Yeah,
All
sweet.
right, mate. Well, yeah, I'll be in touch. Give us a
All right,
message whenever, and yeah, do it again.
sweet. Cheers,
Yeah.
Tom.
All right. Cheers, mate.
Take
Ciao,
care.
ciao.
See ya.
Bye.